Go ahead and record. It's mic's on, right? I think I checked it. Okay, so Dr. Buford, just getting started on the right shoulder. You have some interesting anatomy here and an interesting injury. One of the more uncommon types of slap tears. You can see here, look what happens. This is what we call kind of a type 3, maybe even a little bit of a type 4 slap. It's certainly a type 3 slap where this is split and torn off here. So we're going to go ahead and right off the bat cut the biceps tendon with a pair of scissors. And as we discussed, we're going to be reattaching in a different part of the shoulder. But we can now certainly confirm and see why this has not gotten better with time and why it continued to bother you. Okay, so now we're going to put in a shaver and trim back some of this torn tissue here. Okay. I'll show you some more in just a sec. Okay, so you've got a fair amount of arthritic damage to the cartilage here. We don't want to leave anything loose, but we want to leave as much cartilage as possible. So I'm just using our shaver here to get the edges of this defect smoothed out and debrided. We're going to put the camera in the front and have a look towards the back. Okay, now we're looking from the front to the back just to see if we can debride a little bit more of this glenoid cartilage. Here's a pretty good shot of the cartilage there. It looks like you may have had an old kind of instability episode where you knocked off some of the anterior cartilage, but it sure looks pretty remote from the way we're looking at it here, because things are pretty much scarred down now. So make sure we have this labrum debrided as best we can here. So the bottom line is you're going to still have some arthritis in the joint. You should feel a lot better getting that torn biceps out of the way though. And this labrum, you can see, is a little bit loose. And I may put one anchor down just to hold it. I haven't decided yet. The anterior capsule looks great. But you can see here, that's what a labrum looks like in an 18-year-old that just dislocated his shoulder. So. With you, obviously, it's not an acute injury, but okay, I'm going to record. Okay, so we're looking at this defect. We're trying to get down to the bone so it'll heal. You can see we've got a little bit of bleeding there, which is a good sign. I'm going to put an anchor, maybe two, just to hold down that labrum. Not so much because you're dislocating, but because if I leave that labrum, I'm scared it's going to tear further. Pause. That's the... Okay, recording. Okay, so we've got the first anchor down. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. And now from the back of the shoulder, we're going to take this out that way. We're going to take a turn to the right suture hook. Okay, record. Okay, so here's our suture hook. It's loaded with a black wire that we call a super shuttle. You can see it there. We start here because this is where we'd like that tip to come out. That lets us know that we can get there. And then we just rotate back. And again, because you're not dislocating, we don't feel the need to overly tighten anything. I just want to make sure this labrum's secure here. sneaking out there. We'll take that. Mitzi's going to reach in through that great cannula if I pull back and show her, and she angles inferior. And she can grab that. Okay, so here you can see the first stitch. See where it comes through? And we're going to do the same thing one more time, but you can see how that first stitch comes through right there. So now we're going to place the second one about a centimeter away, maybe right about here. Be a good spot. And I'd like to get all the way underneath. Just see the tip of it. There it is. And once again, we'll grab that with our... Okay, so we've got the first stitch tied. We're going to cut the suture tails now. And let's have a look at that mattress stitch and see what it did. So see, it's brought that labrum. Now, that defect in the cartilage you can't do anything about. But the labrum is now up against the bone. And I'm going to place one more just to be sure that we've got that at least repaired back to the edge, just because I don't want that to tear anymore. We're working so hard to get this shoulder in as good a condition as possible. All right, recording. Okay, so we've got a second anchor place. We're going to do the same type of stitch. Here's our hook coming in. We're going to come back behind this one. Okay, recording. Okay, so we've got the labrum tacked back down. I certainly feel better. Hopefully that'll do better for you too. And now we're going to go ahead and address the subacromial space and have a look at the superior surface of the rotator cuff. If that checks out okay, then we'll get to work and finish up reattaching the biceps. That part of the surgery is not arthroscopic, but we do still have a little more video to show you in the subacromial space. I think that's going to change it. Okay, recording. Okay, so we're just finishing up in the subacromial space. This bone at the top of the screen is called the acromion. And we've just taken a little bit of a spur off the anterior edge way up here. And that now looks good. Your clavicle's back in here. I think we're going to be able to leave that alone. I'm getting a little bit of bone here underneath, so we'll make sure there's nothing that pinches on the cuff. And then we'll look down at the rotator cuff. And as we do that, the cuff is, hold the camera please. The cuff is down below us, so I'll take the shave. And we'll just confirm that this superior surface is intact. And this is it over here. So the cuff looks good. Anterior border of the cuff way over here to the right, and as I internally rotate, we see the posterior border over here to the left, and that looks great. So we're going to finish up and get to work on fixing the biceps and through that little incision in your armpit. I really hope this does the trick for you. Good luck to you now. Bye-bye.